All right. So I said we were going to get back to it, and so now we shall. So, of course, we all are familiar with what's going on with Russia Ukraine tensions right now. And, of course, the U.S., as an ally to Ukraine, wanting to look out for them, is in the mix. So, here's a few articles, and some of it may be a little repetitious. Bear with me. From CNN, U.S. placed up to 8,500 troops on alert for possible deployment to Eastern Europe amid Russian tensions. As many as 8,500 U.S. troops have been put on heightened alert for possible deployment to Eastern Europe as Russian troops mass on Ukraine's border. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said Monday. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin issued the prepare to deploy orders at the direction of President Joe Biden, the latest step the U.S. is taking to prepare for a potential Russian invasion. I almost said Biden invasion. Same thing. Russian invasion of Ukraine that officials have warned could be imminent. And I'll stop there for now. The thing here is again, this is Ukraine and Russia having issues, and of course us going to the aid of Ukraine against Russia. Now, remember earlier in the show we talked about how Biden had eliminated a lot of our own independence of just say fossil fuels, for example, as one of the things, and canceling the Keystone pipeline, cutting back on or adding restrictions left and right on different things here and there for America, but then helping push this other pipeline through that runs from Russia, Germany, and ends up hurting Ukraine in the long run. So you might be asking, what's the big idea here? Whose back does Biden actually have? Who does he actually support? Well, we'll keep reading and see if we can paint a picture. Biden says Russian invasion of Ukraine would change the world. Now, he talks a big talk, but we've seen before as far as his policies go, he doesn't really back it up, especially when it comes to countries like Russia and China and Iran. We talked about that, I think it was last week or the week before, where he accused them of interfering with the election before he won. And after he won, it's the safest election that's ever happened. President Joe Biden cast a potential Russian invasion of Ukraine in stark historical terms Tuesday, saying it would be the largest invasion since World War II. Biden's remarks reflect a growing consensus among NATO allies that any conflict in Ukraine is likely to be confined to a small area or a short window of time. Biden made the remarks during a surprise visit to Honeymaid, a newly opened gift store near the Capitol that sells handmade crafts. I'm sure he wouldn't want to give that talk in an actual press conference or anywhere where he's to be taken seriously. President Joe Biden cast potential Russian invasion of Ukraine in the stark historical terms Tuesday, saying it would be the largest invasion since World War II. Again, repetitious here, guys. It would change the world, said Biden, if the tens of thousands of Russian troops who have been amassing the Russian-Ukrainian border were to launch an incursion into Ukrainian territory. Now, what's an incursion? What's a minor incursion? What's a major incursion? If you'll remember when he gave a press conference, or I think his second actual real solo press conference of his entire presidency last week, I think it was, he said that that they would bow up to Russia. Unless it was a minor incursion, then we could talk about it, see what's going on. And then before that, when it came to the cyber attacks on one of our pipelines that was being cyber attacked, they thought it was Russian. He said he gave them 16 different areas that cyber attacks are not allowed and they won't tolerate. But I guess anything outside of that's okay. So it's really, really weird, this relationship that he seems to have with Putin, with Russia, with that whole area over there. Again, I don't have enough to point the finger and say solidly that anything is foul, but there's enough here to kind of make you scratch your head and wonder. Let's look at another one here. From Forbes, Biden says no intention to deploy U.S. troops to Ukraine or troops in Ukraine. Here's what the U.S. is prepared to do instead. President Joe Biden confirmed Tuesday that the U.S. doesn't plan to deploy troops in Ukraine and expanded on the actions the U.S. intends to take against Russia and Russian President Vladimir Putin should the country move forward with the invasion in Ukraine. Biden told reporters Tuesday that the U.S. has no intention of putting American soldiers on the ground in Ukraine amid increased Russian military presence at the Ukrainian border. Any deployed troops would instead head to NATO countries, Biden said, a day after the Pentagon set up 8,500 troops are on heightened preparedness for deployment to aid the NATO response. Biden said Tuesday that there will be serious economic consequences should Russia invade Ukraine, echoing the strong economic and other measures Biden warned Putin about during a December video call. Biden said he would consider unspecified personal sanctions against Putin in case of an invasion and suggest that Putin is largely acting on his own in pushing the military offensive in Ukraine, saying a reporter had it right by suggesting this is all Putin. Crucial quote. Let's see how crucial. Responding to a question about whether he feels a Russian move into Ukraine is imminent, Biden said about Putin's unpredictability, it's a little bit like reading tea leaves. Ordinarily, before a different leader, the fact that he continues to build forces along Ukraine's border from Belarus all the way around, you'd say, well, that means that he is looking like he's pointing to something. But then you look at what his past behavior is and what everyone is saying on his team as well as everyone else as to what is likely to happen. It all comes down to his decision. Yeah, that's what leaders do. They make decisions. And this right here, this crucial quote, there's no way that you can convince me Biden said that. His cognitive state would not allow him to put this sentence together. No way, no how, not happening. And as far as past actions go, didn't they occupy, what was it, Crimea? Am I wrong here? So doesn't he just kind of have a tendency to just go where he wants to and just occupy or take over? Especially if he's unopposed, like he's looking like he might be again, if we're not sending troops over there? All right. So before we look at the next article, there is the thought that's floating around out there. I've seen it in a couple different places that while we are focused here and we're focused on, the Russian-Ukrainian border, clearly not the United States-Mexican border. That's neither here nor there, I guess, ever with the Biden administration. But we're focusing on the Russian-Ukrainian border, and something could happen there, and our attention and focus is there. So the talk around the watering hole is that what if we put our attention there and we go at it, and China decides to invade Taiwan? Completely possible, because our attention and focus is elsewhere, right? Let's read this article from the New York Post. Taiwan scrambles just after dozens of Chinese warplanes breach airspace. Taiwan activates its air defense missile system Sunday after detecting 39 Chinese warplanes in its air defense identification zone. On Sunday, Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense revealed it had spotted 34 fighter planes, 4 electronic warfare aircraft, and a bomber in that zone. In response, Taiwan scrambled jets, issued radio warnings, and engaged the missile system. The incursion is the largest since October, when China authorized nearly 150 flights over Taiwan's air defense zone. In a statement to the Post late Monday, the State Department said it was concerned by the PRC's proactive military activity near Taiwan, saying it was destabilizing, risk miscalculation, and undermines regional peace and stability. The U.S. commitment to Taiwan is rock solid. Again, the U.S. commitment to Taiwan is rock solid and contributes to the maintenance and peace and stability across Taiwan Strait and within the region, the department added. We will continue to stand with friends and allies to advance our shared prosperity, security, and values. We will continue to deepen our ties with the democratic Taiwan. The show of force comes as some in the U.S. fear China will invade Taiwan in the coming months. So clearly it's out there, but that's okay. We're America. We're number one. America, yeah. All right, America, F yeah. Here we go. We're going to go fight these guys. I'm not too worried. We got the number one military. I'm sure they've got nothing. Let's see what China's got going on. Stop!
我们已经习惯打倒。
王军，到！转内动员大会现在开始。
一声到，是一句承诺。
军长同志，一方前
一声道是一种割舍，一声道是一次重塑。
海上、空中、陆上各作战机群已修订完善作战计划。
一声道是一场冲锋。我们用生命扛起使命，我们用忠诚筑起长城，改革强军征途如虹。
历史告诉我们，改革创新与时俱进是人民军队不断发展的康庄大道。人民军队的力量来自改革创新，人民军队的胜利来自改革创新。
祖国召唤，我必到。一声道，一声道。
You know what? That video looked really cool. Not gonna lie, kind of got a little motivated, a little excited. Folks are probably lined up to join the military in China. I mean, they probably have to, but I mean, video like that, you want to, right? Good recruitment video. What's Russia got going on?
Это первый день твоей новой жизни. То, что было вчера, не имеет значения. То, кем ты был прежде, уже никого не волнует. Теперь важно то, кем ты будешь сегодня. Что ты знаешь о себе? На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сможешь потом спокойно спать? Узнать себя, познать границы своих возможностей. К черту границы. Ты готов ломать себя до изнеможения. Каждый день здесь боль закаляет. Шрамы, повседневность. Это ты решил себе что-то доказать. Командир здесь только для того, чтобы ты мог увидеть в нем врага. Потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле главный враг — это ты. Вчерашний ты. Твоя задача — выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад победителем. Потому что завтра первый день твоей новой жизни.
All right, no doubt the Russians are intimidating, but you know what? Not too intimidating, because America, number one, right? We got the best, the brightest, the biggest, the baddest. We're ready to go in, guns blazing, right? Sun's out, guns out. What's our recruitment videos looking like? Who we getting in there with us?
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California, with a little girl raised by two moms. Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet, eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women. But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life, a sorority girl stereotype. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women, but what had I really achieved on my own? One of my sorority sisters was studying abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest. I needed my own adventures, my own challenge. And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
We are so fucked. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.